I wanna get in that country world once again.
Hey there, Addie.
Hey there.
And hey there to you. So glad you joined us today.
That's like a momonym.
All right, now you've pulled this on me before. When you say a mom and them, you mean like a mom and them, but crushed
Yeah.
together in the way that is so folksy and also difficult to understand.
Yes, Emmett.
I obviously speak the vernacular, but there are nevertheless times in which I find that words that get pushed together in a way that I don't expect baffle and confuse me.
Well, or it's a situation where, like, when your mom calls out and uses every name that God gave you.
Oh yeah. And what's even worse is if they start adding on names of your siblings or your cousins, like they're so angry they forget.
They
who you
forget
are.
which one they're talking to.
Yeah.
They just know they're mad at all y'all. Because
Yeah.
you were born and changed their lives.
No joke here. My mom literally, for many years, would pull the line. I was born cesarean section.
Oh, you have a lot to atone for.
Oh yeah, so I not only got I carried you in my body for 9 months, I also got, I was cut open for you. Yeah, I got that for a long time until finally about maybe 10, 15 years ago, I simply said, do you realize how much of a stereotype you are right now? And she went, and that was the last time she ever told me that she carried me in her womb for 9 months and that she was cut open for me.
You know Cousin Lynn?
Oh yeah, I know Cousin Lynn.
Well,
I mean, not that well. We're not kissing cousins.
okay. When she was
It's worth clarifying.
It is. That's fair. Because it's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. I mean, it's in laws. There are states where there are laws about exactly when and where and how much.
Is that why the blood test thing before people got married?
Oh yeah, the blood test thing was to make sure that you weren't related in some way, and it was at least to reduce it. We reduce the options.
Right, because you might not know.
No, you might not know. I mean, the world's a funny thing. It's a big place. It's also a very small place.
Yeah, and you'll end up encountering folks that you're like, how on earth did we end up getting to be in the same space at the same time?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've literally, I went halfway across the country to a music festival, and I'm watching a show, and I don't know anyone on God's green earth around me. There's thousands of people around me. I look up on stage, and I see my old youth pastor's ex-bandmate up there playing on the stage with some band. He's like playing, backup keyboard or something or other. And it's like, what the hell? So I go up to the back of the tent, because it's a festival at the end. I'm like, hey. And he's like, what? You think a snake bit him? And it happens, not infrequently. Just you suddenly find, like, here's this person. There's no reason why we should be in the same space. I haven't seen this person for 10 years.
And yet there you are.
And there we are. We didn't plan it. We didn't expect it. And it's a big-ass world. The odds are not good that you're going to run into folks at random. And yet, that's the thing.
So do you believe in fate?
Oh, do I believe in fate?
Because some would say you were fated to reconnect with each other.
Yeah, but nothing came of it. Like, we said hi to each other. We talked for 5 minutes, and then that was it.
How do you know? How do you know nothing came of it? I mean, you're sitting here talking about it right now.
We're talking the butterfly effect, that maybe the fact that we met and we talked delayed him for a couple of minutes and then prevented him from meeting the love of his life or from being crushed by a wandering, traveling minstrel show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do mean that in the old Renaissance sense of the word.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I could see your eyes start to glaze
I kind of got
over.
excited about the idea of a wandering minstrel show.
I'm thinking like, a guy with a lute is what I'm talking about.
Right, with the puffy hat and the puffy
the
pants.
big old feather, yeah.
Yeah, I love the feather.
Yeah.
And the trailing
brave
gowns.
Sir Robin, that guy.
And then the women, the sleeves are all drippy and drapey. Although I used to think that would be dreadful for like dining, because you're just dragging your sleeve through the gravy.
That's terrible. And again, it's terrible that, words change their meaning in difficult ways, Like the difference between a minstrel and minstrelly. Minstrelry. Minstrelry, there's an R there at the end. Minstrelry. One is just a guy who's got an instrument and he sings songs, and the other is a horrible period of our race's past.
This is true. Back to all the things that your mother was holding over your head.
Oh yeah, like her uterus.
Yeah. Well, so Cousin Lynn, her mama would get mad and say, "You are going to drive me crazy," and she'd start weaving the wheel of the car and threaten to drive the car into a telephone pole.
Whoa!
Right? Well, one day Cousin Lynn had had enough of that shit, and she reached over, and she wasn't more than 5 years old. That's how she tells it. She reached over and she grabbed a hold of that wheel, and she said, "Fine, Mama, let me help you," and pulled that wheel down until that car was heading straight into a telephone pole. And let me tell you what, her mama never did that to her again.
So I got to say that if your 5-year-old schools you on proper etiquette and behavior and not being a crazy bastard, well, that's a thing, and you've seen the real light of reality.
Yeah, that's a thing.
So bring me the country sound when the sun goes down.